The wind moves across the open fields of Heartland, carrying whispers of the past and promises of what is to come. The Bartlett-Fleming family has stood the test of time, but every new season of life brings its own trials. Season 19 opens its gates to the unknown, a chapter where old wounds, new beginnings, and unshaken love collide in ways that will change everything. The land stretches wide under the endless sky, a place where the wind carries stories of joy and sorrow, and the ground holds the weight of every step taken by the generations before. This is Heartland, a home that has never been just a ranch, but a living memory of family, love, and resilience. Season 19 does not begin with calm. It begins with the echo of challenges that have been quietly building, waiting to rise like a storm at the edge of the horizon. The Bartlett-Fleming family has stood here before. They have known loss that cut deeper than words could describe. But they have also known healing that came through trust, through love, and through the bond they share with one another and with the land. Each sunrise at Heartland is a reminder that life never pauses. Every day brings new work, new decisions, and new risks. And as the season begins, the family must face the truth that no matter how strong their roots are, the winds of change are coming. The ranch itself feels alive in these opening moments. Horses run free across the fields, their hooves beating like drums on the soil, a rhythm that has always defined this place. The barns stand tall but weathered, symbols of both strength and the toll of time. The fences stretch far, as if trying to hold together not just the land, but the people who live within it. This home has seen heartbreak and healing, triumph and tragedy, and now it will see another test of faith. Season 19 is not a simple continuation of what came before. It is a chapter where every character stands at a threshold. Amy's gift with horses has always been a light guiding the family, but her own heart is still fragile. Lou, carrying the burden of leadership, struggles to balance duty and family. Jack, the unshakable rock, begins to feel the cracks of age and the quiet whisper that nothing lasts forever. And the younger voices in the family, those who want freedom yet feel tied to legacy, will find themselves questioning where they belong. This is not just another year on the ranch. It is the beginning of choices that will shape the future of Heartland itself. The challenges are greater, the risks more personal, and the stakes higher than ever. Change cannot be stopped, and the Bartlett-Fleming family will discover whether the bonds that have carried them through years of hardship are strong enough to face what lies ahead. In Season 19, the sun still rises over the Heartland Ranch, but shadows stretch longer than before. The air carries the promise of new beginnings, but also the weight of unfinished struggles. What was once steady now feels uncertain. What was once whole now feels fragile. And as the story begins, one question lingers in the air. Will the Bartlett-Fleming family stand together against the coming storm, or will the pressures of life finally pull them apart? The last season left us with moments of both healing and unanswered questions. Heartland has always been about the balance between love and loss, and the end of Season 18 reminded us that even in the quiet hills of Alberta, life never slows down. The Bartlett-Fleming family faced struggles that pushed them to their limits. Amy carried the weight of guiding horses and guiding her own heart, a heart that still remembers pain, but refuses to close itself off from hope. Lou, on the other hand, stood strong in her role as both a leader and a sister, but the strain of being everything to everyone began to show in the lines of her face. Jack, the pillar of this family, held them all together, but even he knows that time has a way of testing the strongest hands and the firmest voices. Season 18 ended with changes that shook the foundation of the ranch. Decisions were made that could not be undone. Paths were chosen that cannot be easily walked back. As the dust settled, the family gathered around the dinner table, but the silence between them said more than words ever could. They were united, yet at the same time divided by their own dreams, fears, and hidden doubts. Each member of the family stood at a crossroad, and Season 19 is where those choices begin to shape their future in ways none of them could predict. The ranch itself has always been more than land and fences. It is a symbol of history, of the Bartlett-Fleming name, of the struggles of generations before. But in the modern world, traditions can either be cherished or challenged. The younger generation looks at the ranch with eyes that see both beauty and burden. They want freedom but feel bound to the soil that raised them. They want to build new lives, but they also carry the weight of the family's legacy on their shoulders. This tension between the old ways and the new world sets the stage for drama, for conflict, but also for growth. As season 19 begins, the family is standing at the edge of another storm. The choices they made in the past year will echo across the months to come. Every word spoken, every promise made, and every silence left unbroken will matter. Amy will once again face the challenge of balancing her role as a mother, a daughter, and a trainer who has a gift like no other. Lou must confront the demands of leadership while trying not to lose sight of what matters most at home. Jack will wrestle with his own sense of purpose, knowing that his wisdom is still needed but feeling the weight of time press against him. And the ranch itself will feel the strain of both outside threats and the inner struggles of those who call it home. The story of season 19 is not only about facing hardship, but also about choosing how to move forward. It is about looking back at the past with respect, while daring to walk into the future with courage. The Bartlett-Fleming family is about to discover that the bonds of family are tested most when change is unavoidable. The season begins not with easy answers, but with questions that will demand strength, love, and sacrifice from everyone. Amy Fleming has always been at the center of Heartland, not because she seeks attention, but because her gift with horses and her ability to heal hearts naturally draws people to her. In season 19, Amy steps into a role that is more complicated than ever before. She is a mother, a trainer, a daughter, and a woman still carrying the weight of grief that has shaped her life. The ranch depends on her strength, yet her strength does not come without cost. Every morning she rises with the sun, the air crisp against her skin, her eyes set on the horses waiting for her. They understand her in ways words cannot explain, and she understands them with a patience that few can match. This bond has always been her gift, but now it also feels like her responsibility. She carries the hope of the ranch in her hands, guiding young colts and broken spirits, while quietly mending her own wounds. Her journey is not about finding joy in easy places, but about choosing to live fully even when pain lingers in the background. Her daughter is growing, asking questions, watching closely, learning what it means to be part of this family. Amy wants to be both strong and gentle, to show her child the beauty of resilience. But sometimes the weight of doing it all alone presses against her chest. She smiles when she must. She listens when she is tired, and she keeps moving because that is what Heartland has always demanded of her. Yet deep down, she knows she cannot do everything by herself. Season 19 will test her ability to lean on others, to trust again, and to accept that even the strongest hearts need support. The memories of her past remain with her like shadows. She does not run from them, but she cannot ignore them either. They shape the way she looks at love, at trust, and at the future she is building for her daughter. There are moments when she stands in the quiet of the barn, her hand resting on a horse's mane, and she feels both the sorrow of what she has lost and the promise of what she still has left. Those moments remind her that healing is never a single event. It is a journey, one step at a time, one choice at a time. This season, Amy's story is not only about horses and healing. It is about her search for balance between who she was, who she is, and who she wants to become. It is about the pull between her duty to the ranch and her desire to carve out a life that feels whole. It is about the courage to love again when love once brought heartbreak. And above all, it is about the bond between mother and child, a bond that will guide her through the storms that are yet to come. Amy's journey in season 19 reminds us that strength is not the absence of pain, but the decision to keep moving forward despite it. She embodies the quiet courage of Heartland itself, carrying the spirit of the ranch in her every action. And as the season unfolds, her choices will ripple through the lives of everyone around her, proving once again that Amy Fleming is the heart of Heartland. Lou Fleming has always carried more than her share of responsibilities, but in season 19 her burdens feel heavier than ever. She is the mayor, she is a sister, she is a mother, and she is part of the Bartlett-Fleming family that continues to hold Heartland together. On the surface, Lou has learned how to juggle roles with grace, moving from council meetings to family dinners, from speeches in front of townsfolk to private conversations in the quiet of the ranch kitchen. Yet behind that polished strength lies a woman pulled in too many directions, a woman who wonders if she can keep all of the pieces from slipping through her fingers. The town demands her attention, and with every new decision comes both praise and criticism. She feels the weight of eyes on her, expecting her to lead, to solve, to protect the future of Hudson, while also protecting her own family. The mayor's office does not pause for heartbreak. It does not bend for exhaustion, and Lou has learned to mask her doubts with determination. But inside, she wrestles with the question that has followed her for years. Can she be everything to everyone without losing herself in the process? At the ranch, her challenges are no easier. She wants to be present for her daughter, to show her that love and family are not second to ambition. But there are nights when her seat at the dinner table is empty. There are days when her voice is firm at the council but soft and tired when she returns home. Lou is a woman divided between public duty and private devotion, and in season 19 that divide grows sharper. The choices she makes for the town sometimes clash with what her family needs, and the line between leader and loved one becomes blurred. Her sister Amy depends on her. Jack still looks at her as a pillar of strength, and the younger members of the family see her as a model of responsibility. Yet Lou knows that behind the strong front she shows, she is stretched thin. The sleepless nights, the endless paperwork, the arguments that leave her drained, all of it adds up. Season 19 will not allow her to ignore this tension. She must face the truth that leadership is not only about standing tall in the public eye, but also about being honest in the quiet moments when no one is watching. Lou's story this season is not just about politics or titles. It is about identity, sacrifice, and the fear of losing what matters most. It is about her constant search for balance, the delicate act of holding the community together without letting her own family slip away. And it is about the realization that true leadership does not come from perfection, but from vulnerability and the willingness to admit that she cannot carry everything alone. Season 19 will test Lou in ways she has not been tested before. She will learn that sometimes the bravest choice is not to push harder, but to lean on those who love her. The Bartlett-Fleming family has always been about unity, and Lou will discover that her strength is not measured by how much she can endure, but by how much she can share. In her journey, we see the struggles of every person trying to balance ambition with love. And in her resilience, we see the spirit of Heartland itself. Jack Bartlett has always been the anchor of Heartland, the steady voice that carries wisdom, through silence and the firm hand that keeps the family grounded. For decades, he has been the one to fix the broken fence, to calm a restless horse, to remind his children and grandchildren that no matter how hard life becomes, family will always be stronger than hardship. But in season 19, the weight of years begins to press against him in ways that cannot be ignored. Jack is not just the patriarch anymore. He is a man who feels time tugging at him, reminding him that even the strongest oaks cannot stand unchanged forever. His presence on the ranch has always been reassuring. The sound of his boots on the wooden porch, the way his eyes narrow with quiet concern, the warmth of his laugh when the family gathers, all of it feels like the heartbeat of Heartland. Yet behind that strength, there are moments of weariness. Nights when the fire burns low and Jack stares into the embers, wondering if he has done enough to prepare his family for a future where he may no longer stand at the center. His health, once something he rarely thought about, begins to whisper warnings. The work of the ranch is not easy, and even the most stubborn men cannot outrun the years. Season 19 gives us a Jack who must face his own limits. He does not want to admit them, because to him, slowing down feels like giving up, and giving up has never been in his nature. But his body, though still strong, begins to demand rest. There are days when lifting a heavy bale of hay leaves him more winded than it used to, or when the long rides across the fields take more out of him than he is willing to confess. These are quiet battles, but they weigh on him just as much as the challenges his family faces. What makes Jack's journey so powerful is not just the struggle with age, but the way it ties to his legacy. He looks at Amy, at Lou, at his grandchildren, and he wonders if they truly understand the heart of this ranch, the lessons of resilience and loyalty that he has tried to teach. He knows the ranch is more than barns and horses. It is history written into the soil, love carved into every corner of the land. His greatest fear is not losing his strength, but losing the chance to pass that legacy on. In Season 19, Jack will have to learn that his worth is not measured by how much work he can do, but by the wisdom he continues to share. His presence, his voice, and his love are the true foundation of Heartland. And even as his body demands rest, his spirit remains unshaken. He will face the choice of whether to keep pushing against time or to trust his family to carry the torch he has held for so long. And in that choice lies the heart of his story. A story of acceptance, of love that endures even when strength fades, and of the unbreakable bond between a man and the home he has built. Jack's journey is not about weakness, but about transformation. It is about showing his family that even when seasons change, the roots of Heartland run deep enough to hold them together. His health may falter, but his legacy will never break, because it lives on in every life he has touched, every lesson he has passed down, and every sunrise that rises over the land he has devoted his life to protecting. The Bartlett-Fleming family has always been strongest when they stand together. Yet in Season 19, the ties that hold them begin to strain under the weight of change. Around the dinner table there are still warm meals, shared laughter, and quiet, moments of comfort. But beneath those familiar scenes run unspoken words and hidden doubts. Love remains, but so does the pressure of expectation, the pull of personal dreams, and the fear that unity might slip away. Generations have shaped this family, and with every passing year the divide between tradition and modern life grows more visible. Jack holds tightly to the values that built the ranch, believing that the land and its lessons are sacred. Amy, though she treasures those same roots, feels the tug of new paths, the possibility of a future that does not mirror the past. Lou fights to keep both worlds together, carrying the pride of legacy while reaching for the demands of leadership. And the younger voices in the family wonder if the life carved into the soil is truly theirs to follow, or if their futures lie beyond the fences that surround them. Arguments rise not from anger, but from fear of losing each other, fear of making choices that cannot be undone, fear of change that arrives whether they are ready or not. There are moments when words are sharp, and the air between family members grows heavy. There are moments when silence itself feels louder than any argument. But behind every conflict is love, a deep, unshakable love that no storm has yet broken. The challenge of Season 19 is not whether they care for each other, but whether that care is strong enough to withstand the different directions their lives may take. The bonds of this family are tested in small ways as much as in great ones. A missed dinner, a broken promise, a decision made without the others. These moments ripple across the household like stones in a pond. Yet there are also moments of tenderness that remind them why they fight so hard to stay together. A hand on a shoulder when words fail, a shared glance that speaks of forgiveness, a late-night talk that bridges the distance between them. The ranch itself reflects their struggle. Some days it feels united, alive with work and laughter, with horses running freely across the open fields. Other days it feels divided, fences needing repair, storms breaking through, echoes of arguments lingering in the barns. The land has always mirrored the family, carrying both their scars and their triumphs. In Season 19, that mirror becomes sharper, showing them the cost of division and the healing power of reconciliation. At its heart, the story of Heartland has always been about family. Not perfect family, but family that fights, forgives, and finds a way forward even when the road feels impossible. In this new season, the Bartlett-Fleming family will once again be reminded that true strength is not the absence of conflict, but the choice to keep coming back to one another no matter how hard life becomes. Their bonds will be tested, but through those tests they will discover whether love is enough to carry them into the future. The sun rises over Heartland once more, its light spilling across the fields like a promise of hope. The ranch looks the same as it always has, yet nothing is truly the same. The Bartlett-Fleming family stands at the edge of a new chapter, shaped by their struggles, defined by their choices, and bound by the love that has carried them through the years. Season 19 is not only about the challenges they face, but about the unshakable truth that even in the hardest times, family endures. Amy continues her journey, balancing the weight of her past with the future she must build for her daughter. Lou walks the tightrope of leadership, learning that strength is not found in perfection, but in honesty. Jack faces the quiet tests of time, discovering that his true legacy lives not in the work of his hands, but in the lessons he has sown into every heart around him. And together, despite disagreements, despite doubts, they find their way back to one another. Because Heartland is not just a place, it is the bond that holds them all together. The challenges ahead are real. The ranch will face pressures from the outside world. Traditions will clash with new ways, and love will be tested in forms both gentle and fierce. Yet through it all, the spirit of Heartland shines. It shines in the laughter of a child running through the fields, in the strength of a horse breaking free into the open air, in the quiet comfort of family gathered under one roof. It shines in every sacrifice, every forgiveness, every moment of courage that keeps this family moving forward. As this season begins, the message is clear. Storms will come, but the sun will always rise again. The Bartlett-Fleming family may stumble, but they will never break. Their story is one of resilience, of love that bends but never shatters, of roots that grow deeper with every passing year. And for all who watch, their journey is a reminder that no matter how hard life becomes, there is always a way through when hearts remain bound together. Season 19 is more than just the next chapter in a long story. It is a celebration of family, a confrontation with change, and a promise that even when the world shifts beneath our feet, the ties of love will hold. The Bartlett-Fleming family faces new challenges, but they face them with courage, with hope, and with each other. And as the light of dawn stretches across the ranch, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. The heart of Heartland is stronger than ever. So stay close, because the story is only just beginning. Season 19 will test, it will move, it will inspire, and in every moment it will remind us that home is not the place we stand, but the people we stand with.